Real hard about what you want to be. Step 4. Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.
Welcome to Tales from the Field. We are back and better than ever. My name is Bradley Ball, and it's so good to have you with us. Happy Ignite Week. Last week, we had Bradley Schatt from the Azure Synapse Analytics product group on the show. Niraj hosted. I won. I will be our host today for Ignite Week. And on Thursday, we had Lonnie Bauer, and we covered so much community content. All of the links for the community shows are available on the roundtable under the comments for the show on YouTube. If you haven't seen those shows, don't worry. Stay right there. The shows are posted live to YouTube after the stream, and you can check them out at your convenience. Right now, if you want to interact with the show, we are streaming out of the Twitter accounts of Tales TF the Field, Tales from the Field, Sequel Balls, Josh Ludeman, Niraj Jafari, also streaming on my LinkedIn account over at Sequel Balls. So head over and tweet or comment on the stream. If you'd like to participate in the show, you can comment there, or you can go to our YouTube channel. One of my wonderful co-hosts will be monitoring those, so that way they can go ahead and look at your comments and put them on. I just noticed we have a special guest today. I wasn't even expecting.
Yeah, his name is Andres, right?
I know it. He doesn't have any rhythm because he seems kind of stiff. Don't forget, this week is Sequel Saturday in Memphis. Dustin Dorsey, Steve Hughes, Denisha Malone, Jendi Richards, Pete Brown, Douglas Starnes will all be there. Go to sequelsaturday.com and sign up so you can attend if you are in the Memphis, Tennessee area. And of course, before we go any further, let's introduce our co-host. I am joined by Andreas Padilla, Josh Ludeman, and the real deal, Mr. Primetime, the Grim Reaper, but not an analytical sleeper. He's a performance tuning sweeper. Blow up your issues like a beeper. The one, the only Niraj Jafari. The topic today, because I'm the host, is what is your best Ignite experience? We're keeping in with the theme of it being Ignite Week. And if it couldn't get any better with that, we have Niko Neugebauer with us, Senior Product Manager on the Azure Managed Instance Product Group. For years, Niko was an MVP, contributing to the community. He was also a chapter leader, Presidente of Tuga in Portugal, a prolific and amazing blogger, presenter at many international conferences and user groups, one amazing dancer. Does the tango like you just wouldn't believe. But Niko, welcome. So glad
Thank
you
you
have
so
you
much. I really appreciate, especially the tango part. I mean, it's just like tango and cash, right?
Exactly.
So,
I was going to say, when you got dipped with that rose in your mouth, I was there for that. It was brilliant.
I mean, it's a funny story, but especially with people from Microsoft Data Platform, they always remember they have different memories from what I had about different events, Microsoft Data Platform events to be, safe, to be on the safe side.
Exactly. We won't tell the elevator story. I mean, that's fair.
No, I would like to hear the elevator story. Come on.
How many people were in the elevator?
Maybe later.
See you later in the elevator, right?
I was going to say, you're dropping bars. I like it. Andreas, I'm the host for this week. I was going to ask if you're wearing your tinfoil hat or if you've passed it over to Ludeman, but I'm more intrigued by your little gas.
A semi-tinfoil hat. You guys keep taking all my great ideas, so there is one. But more importantly, I can't pull a hat like Josh can pull a hat. So I wanted to represent my little guy here. Who's my kid? This is my kid's figuring, but this guy can almost pull a hat like Josh can. So that's why I brought him on the show.
I love it. So what are we calling him? What's his name?
Josh's mini-me.
Oh, Mini Josh.
Mini Josh.
I was going to say,
like me. Nothing.
Well, look, I'd take it, man. That's a really flat stomach, some nice arms, and surprisingly big hands. I mean, so
That's mini me. There we go.
Oh, I'd go with Andreas for the win on that one. So
Points. Give me some points.
you know what? Yeah, 5 points, Andreas.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm the host. I get to do stuff like that. There we go. His kids figure eight. I like that. Dan's not even on the show, and he gets points for the quotation mark. Well played, Dan. All right. So, quick reminder of the show and how the show works. I am the host this week. We are playing 4 hosting duties. Josh, Andreas, and Niraj, they are all contestants. I cannot win a second week in a row, but I get to award points, deduct points, and apparently I can also disqualify people whenever I want to. Niko, as the special guest, you get to do the same thing. You can award points, deduct points, however you would like for folks. But the topic again is your favorite Ignite moment. I think back to one of my favorite Ignites, and when Ignite was live in Orlando, the first month that I'm not even full month, I'm with the Fast Track Product Group. They were already slated to have some folks there. And so I got to go out to dinner with them, meet my 2 new team members. And I also got a badge so I could go into Universal Studios for that after party. And that was just an amazing experience. Only the attendees going there. I'm hoping one day we're going to have Ignite back in Universal and over in Orlando again, because that was such an amazing time. Yeah. I'd take it. September, October, and any of that time. I think that'd be fine. But I guess that aside, we'll find out what the guy's favorite Ignite moment is here pretty soon. Niko, this is Ignite week for you. You're on a product group. You got to be crazy busy. My understanding, though, is that you want to flip the script and you want to ask us questions.
Oh, sure. I hope I will be friendly, but what is the name of the show? I never understood it. So.
Yeah, Tales from the Field. So part of it is we work in the field. Often working in the field is considered when we have customers in place. And as a matter of fact, I just noticed we have another guest who has just joined us to help celebrate Ignite Week. We have the amazing and wonderful Anna Hoffman. She is a senior product manager from the Azure Database Platform. She's a data scientist, host of Data Exposed, co-host of Something Old, Something New, which is an amazing series about the math behind data science and how Buckwitty is old. I mean, how old math is the basis for. I'm gonna pay for that one in my next.
Do not get surprised if Bradley is going to be ejected.
Yeah,
from his podcast, and his Microsoft account is going to be canceled.
I would not be surprised.
Pleasures of live streaming right there. Where you go in, you say something, and you're like, oh.
Sorry. So the series is about the math, which is the old, behind the new, which is the data science and the Azure ML tools that we have to be able to use it. I do want to take this moment to try and preserve my life by saying that Buck is surprisingly swole. He's been working out a lot, and he looks really good. And please don't kill me, Mr. Woody. I'm still going to type in demos, though. No matter what, I will be typing in all the demos. Anna is a presenter at international conferences. She's arguably probably one of the most recognizable faces in the world of Azure data. Anna, welcome to the show.
Wow, that is quite the introduction. I'm super excited to be here. As you can see, I'm in the middle of moving. Hopefully my internet is actually working.
It's great.
But I'm super excited to be here. I'm excited about Ignite. Have you all registered for Ignite? Did I miss the intro discussion?
Oh, so we were just getting going, but you're absolutely right. One of the things we keep telling folks is they've got to make sure and register. First off, it is free for them to be able to register and attend, which is something that I hope we don't change moving forward. I hope we continue to empower the virtual audience to be able to participate in Ignite. I do love it, though, that we're getting back to the in-person conference. Part of our subject today is we're talking about our favorite Ignite memories. I shared at the top of the show that, so I'm the host this week. Josh, Andreas, and Niraj are playing to become the host next week. As a guest, you and Niko can award points. You can deduct points. but we'll have a winner at the end of that. I also get an award and deduct points, and the goal is for everybody to talk about their favorite Ignite moment. And for me, one of my favorite, when I first joined Fast Track back in 2018, seems like forever now, right? But back in 2018, it was the month that Ignite was going on in Orlando. And so as the team came, of course, they were already booked. We had people who were involved with it. I got to go and participate in the dinner, meet a bunch of my new teammates. And then I also got to use a pass to be able to go into the Universal Studios and be able to see that just with all the Ignite attendees. That was so much fun. I'm hoping one day we come back to Orlando because I loved it when we were here. That was always one of my favorite parts. Andy, you got to be crazy busy with this week coming up. Anything in particular you want us to pay attention to, or you want to make sure people know they should be looking for?
Yeah, of course. I'm always here to make shameless plugs. Bob, myself, and Sinitra from the Microsoft Purview team did a session. I think it's tomorrow. So definitely you want to tune into that to see all the new stuff happening in SQL Server, Azure SQL, Purview, and more. We've got some exciting demos that will be airing for the first time. And then there's also quite a few Ask the Expert sessions. So whether you're joining in person or joining remotely like myself, you can tune in. I know we're doing Ask the Expert session tomorrow afternoon on the Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform. So if you have questions like, what is that?
Yeah.
Good place to start. But yeah, I know there's a lot of things going on. I think some of you, are any of you going in person or all virtually?
I think all of us are virtual. As a matter of fact, I know myself and Andreas and Niraj, we signed up to do virtual consulting one-on-ones. Niraj, that's too much, buddy. I mean, too much. You're talking too much. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I did sign up for one-on-one consultants, and I have already 3 sessions planned for tomorrow is 2 and 1 is on Thursday.
Yeah, I've got 2 actually sessions that I'm going to be having with folks on this. So if people don't know, they can go and when they sign up, this is free as part of your free online sign up for Ignite. You can go in and you can request a consulting one-on-one. And there's not just the Fast Track organization, but we're certainly one of them. And there's a subject area where you can go in and drop down and you can say, hey, I'd love to talk to a Microsoft expert. And it's about a 45-minute session, but we will hop online with you. We'll look at issues that you're having, or if you want to talk about your topology or how you would deploy something in Azure, we'll come on and we'll talk with you. And this is something we've been doing for years, but it's one of my favorite parts. It's a great way to be able to interact with people and get them free Azure assistance. So again, another great feature of Microsoft Ignite. You've got all these wonderful sessions going on, but you've also got great capabilities to interact with people within Microsoft to help you move forward with whatever you're doing.
What are some of the things people ask you about? Like, can they come with anything? Can they come to like shame you for shaming Buck? Like what happens in these sessions?
They can. They come in there and they say, why do you type in demos? Buck told you to stop that. And I said, I can't hear you. I'm busy typing.
Anna, you just gave such a wonderful idea. I'm signing up under a false name to Ignite. I'm getting one-on-one with Bradley and I'm asking him all of this. I'm doing this. So right away, I'll be back.
But I mean, some of them are interesting ones. They do go crazy. I mean, they ask you support type questions. They ask you what's like. They want to know the roadmaps. Most of them want to know the roadmap. They want to know what is being released, when is it being released, and that's something they want to know from us. That's usually the case. We get it.
Yeah. And really, the roadmap, we can only share what is publicly available. So, and every now and then we get really interesting cases where people will come in and ask us questions. I think it was last build when we did these consulting one-on-ones. I had a customer come in and it was, I need help with my data warehousing solution. And I said, how can I help you? Tell me what you've got going on. They go, yeah, we're doing a migration from Oracle RAC to Snowflake and Azure. And I went, yeah, we don't own either of those that I'm aware of. I'm going to search online, but just so you know, everything I'm about to tell you, you can also search online. So I'll give you whatever links I can, but that's about as far as we're going to go.
Yeah, but I've had good ones as well. There's a lot of the customers coming in, it's some of it's basic. I've had fun ones where they want to deep dive into high availability groups between on-prem and the cloud and create the simple, the pretty, not simple, but straightforward, high availability group, primary on-prem, fail over to the cloud sort of thing. Synapse. My data warehouse is huge and I want to move it to the cloud. So I'm going to talk, I want to talk about Synapse and, but there's all kinds of fun stuff. You get some interesting business cases that, on the surface, when we look at a lot of these services, you don't see coming. And then they're like, yeah, I want to use Data Factory to do this. And you're going, yeah, I guess you could do that. I didn't see that one coming, but absolutely, you could do that. And here's maybe how we get started.
And to be fair, people come in with really great projects, things they're working on, and they might not understand the ways to engage internally at Microsoft to get some of the help that we offer to customers. For example, Niraj, I want to say at Build, from the consulting one-on-ones, you had 3 different customers that we got. We don't want to mention customer names because we can't do that. But yeah, I mean, we have these wonderful architectural discussions, and it leads to, oh, hey, who's helping you with this? Oh, well, this is what we do over at Fast Track. And so we'll point them to the link, aka.ms/FTA, to be able to either get a nomination in or to work with their account team or to work with the partner that they've got in place to be able to help give them some assistance. So there's some outliers, like anything, but there's also a lot of good things that customers come in where it's, I'm building this. How do I do that? Or what do you recommend? And it really starts a first conversation where we can help folks move along.
Agreed.
Anything from the little man in a hat, Andreas?
Oh, I'm saving my story for when you come to me for my topic. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I gotta do someone.
You're saving it. You don't want to.
I won't have anything to say when it comes to my turn. Like
Gotcha.
I just want.
The part that I really enjoyed, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was really brilliant because Bradley put a little break between the words. He said, any words from the little man with the hat, and he made a little pause, and I was looking at Josh. I don't know why, really. And then he goes and says Andres. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
I thought you were actually asking Josh the same question. I'm like, which one here?
I was going to say, if there's one adjective that's rarely used about me, it's little. So that's why I was sitting here going, like, he can't be talking to me.
So, but Brad, you're the host. So, are we competing against 2 Josh today? One Josh and one mini Josh?
Oh, maybe mini Josh wins and becomes the new host. That'd be
mini Josh to win.
Mini Josh hasn't had a win yet.
Yeah,
this could be his first time. So Niko, when we let off though, no. Hold on, I don't know who said that, but thank goodness I'm the host. Nobody gets to disqualify me this week. Hold on, let's see. Who could have possibly put that up there? Maybe Josh. So Josh is disqualified.
It's little Josh. Little Josh is disqualified.
Oh no!
See, you can't tell where his right hand is.
Little Josh did it. How dare you, you little rascal! Little Josh is disqualified this week. Big Josh is still in.
Foil in my hat today for the conspiracy out there.
How dare you!
So Niko, you wanted to ask us some questions. At least you alluded to this on Twitter. So fire away, buddy.
So I was wondering the name of the program, which always struck with me. I think it's absolutely amazing name, but tales. Which tales do you tell? And do you have a tale of the podcast? Like every podcast, you have some different tale to tell.
So
what is the story behind this?
So the main idea is that a lot of the knowledge that we get to dispense is largely comes from working with customers within the field. So, for example, right now I've got the only video we have up that isn't a live show, and we're going to be adding more content as we go, is me showing how to be able to stripe disk on an Azure VM to be able to get exponentially better IOPS performance. And the reason that video is there is because a customer came in and asked for it. And typically I would write blogs like that. A customer would come in and and they would ask for something, and I would go write a blog and go, oh, if I set this up, if I've done the work to do this, and I may have multiple people that need to know how to do this, I can reuse this to be able to pass that off. And I think the best blog series I've written so far has been on CI/CD with Azure Synapse. That was something where a lot of that detail was really missing. And when I looked the other day, I think I wrote this 2 years ago in 2020. And the part for the release pipeline has over 30,000 hits on it, and is actually referred to in our documentation now. So I'm going to make a video series out of that. And then we're going to go over and we're going to do it with GitHub Actions, because I didn't have time to write out everything in GitHub Actions. And so part of it is the tales, and some of the stuff that we're going to be bringing to you are straight from customer scenarios where we're working with customers and they go, how do we do this? What's the best way forward with this? And we're going to try and bring that knowledge to them. But also from an Azure data community perspective, I started with the data community about 12 years ago. And when people first get involved in the community, there's a lot of questions about where do you go? What's important? Where would I go to find resources for this? Or who's doing what within the community? And so part of this is to be able to help people also understand, hey, here are the great people putting these things together. I didn't realize this, how open Microsoft was, and how much Microsoft desires feedback, how much that we look to get interaction with people. You toss a stone at a community event, and there's a Microsoft person there that would love to hear from somebody in the community about what's going on and what they're doing. And also that there's so many resources we have to help people. And so part of this is also that dual nature of how do we impart that knowledge to people so they go, oh, these are the people that are building these things. And then here's some of the programs that are available for us to be able to get involved, or, we've got a CSA, or even just ask, hey boss, do we have a CSA that we work with? We're doing this project. We don't have any assistance from Microsoft, and there's a program like Fast Track that would love to help us because we're doing it all in Azure. Maybe that CSA can nominate us for it. So it's just a matter of trying to pull all those different things together.
But the Halloween season is coming, and I was thinking, should you make a Halloween special with the scary tales from the field?
Well, actually, the day after Halloween is November 1st, and I am going to let a little bit of a spoiler go. We are planning to do a somewhat scary thing. I used to write a series on my blog, and the series on my blog was called Tales from the Query Processor. And I would do little horror stories. Like one of them I told from the point of view of a memory buffer named Buff. And the end of the world was coming. No, not Buck, Buff. The end of the world was coming because the server was being rebooted, and he couldn't make it across the drawbridge to the disk in time. So he was going to be wiped out. And this was his note to leave to his little non-clustered index and his wife staying behind.
Oh, but I mean, this is, I do expect, guys, from you every session, every podcast to have a horror story. Halloween all the year.
Oh, trust me, I can do that. Guys, I don't know how many people want to work with me. I mean, the only reason I look so good right now is just because I've had so many immense technology failures that I know how to avoid them.
Today's horror story is a 2 terabyte table with no index. There you go.
Oh, even better yet, that with an index, but it's got implicit conversion going on using an ORM tool.
Ooh, that is true.
Yeah.
You do a nice and soft scan of the table. What could be, more Nice.
So the funny thing is,
and soft skin. I like how you made that sound comfortable.
I was gonna say I'll give you a quick tale from the field. So I had that exact scenario. So we had someone, and we had this third-party tool that we were utilizing, and what it did was it copied files. This is pre-cloud, so this is the good olden days, and we were copying files from a bunch of regional locations into one location, so that way we could consume them, process them, all that. Well, this tool logged that information. The history table in which it logged it was a very long table that had a clustered index on it, but it had an issue with implicit conversion. And every time they ran the job, it would run longer and longer. And they had an hour window to be able to complete this. And they were now at an hour and 2 minutes every single time it ran. And so I called the developer and I said, hey, you use a stored proc to call this. Can I change the data type in the stored proc? And after they stopped laughing, I said, is there any reason I couldn't change the data type on the table? Because, of course, third-party company, can I change your code? They're not going to let you ever do that and give you their blessing. But I said, could I change the data type in the table to match what it is in the code that the ORM tool is picking up? And they said, yeah, you know what? You could do it. You are actually our heaviest customer. So if this helps, let us know. And so I put in the ticket. We tested in dev. We migrated it up to prod. They ran the process, and the guy who owned the process, the business owner, is up in my cubicle in like 10 seconds. And he goes, you broke my process. And I go, whoa, what happened? He goes, I clicked the button. It said done. You broke my process. And I said, well, hold on a second. Let's look. And I looked at the history and I went, yeah, no, it's done. And he goes, wait, it's done? And we check the date. We see that everything's where it's supposed to be. This is a 60-year-old man. Wearing cowboy boots. That was kind of his persona. He literally jumped up and clicked his heels. And he goes, hot damn, I'm going to tell your boss you're great. And he goes literally right over to my boss and just opens up his door. Hey, that guy is great. It ran in a second. And then he jumps up again, clicks it, and walks off. I was like, I have never, wow, of all the things I ever thought I'd get to see in my technical experience. Yeah. I mean, but literally we took it from waiting an hour because of implicit conversion to where it was completed in a second. So of course I wrote the third party company. I said, I changed this. And in their next patch update, of course, they had a script to change the data type in the column. So that way it ran much faster for everybody. But
well, and I think too, before we wrap up, you know, because we are getting towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
What's the others ignite moments? Andres, what do you got?
Ooh, I got two good ones. One of my favorite ones was I had a customer and he was a guru with ADX, but you know, to keep it short, he called us up, he jumped into the call, and between myself, Brad, and Niraj, we troubleshooted him. We got him, you know, over the hill with security policies within ADX. He was really appreciative. I think to me, you know, what I'm trying to say here is we get a lot of, we unblock these customers and they always have the nicest things to say about, you know.
And we learned from it, right? We learned a lot from that.
We learned a lot from that one.
Yeah.
And then the next one that I went, which is my favorite, it was every once in a while you stumble upon an individual is really green and they, you know, end up setting up a session, and that's, you know, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a guru or anything like that, but they were really green. And she came to me and she's like, look, I don't know too much about the cloud, but I know I want to wow my bosses. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to migrate our our data warehouse to the cloud. Can you tell me and write it down? What is it that so I can go into the meeting and wow my bosses? And I wrote her out an architecture and a step-by-step plan. And she ended up pinging me afterwards and saying, hey, my bosses loved all the ideas that I brought in. And she was really green, but she didn't know, but she started on a path. But I also put on her table going and getting the DP200 certification, and she nailed it. She called me back up and she said, hey, I just got certified in data. And I said, way to go. Good job.
Dude, I love it. I love the story. I love all that. You already had 5 points. I'm going to give you another 50 points. You're up to 55, my friend.
Thank you. I'll take it.
All right, Niraj, what do you got?
So, I mean, same as Andreas, I have a lot of one-on-one consulting. Just FYI, last year I took the max number of engagements, but I mean, I just don't want to go in there, but I just wanted to get some insights. Like say Orlando, as you mentioned, right? MS Ignite was started up in 1993 in Orlando. It is one of the biggest IT developers conference that in the world. It's hosted all over the world. One thing, it was called Tech Ed, not even Microsoft Ignite in 1993. In 2014, when it was hosted in Barcelona, that's when it became Microsoft Ignite instead of Tech Ed. That's where it was renamed to Microsoft Ignite, just FYI. And the reasons, I mean, one of the reasons I recommend everybody to go, or people should be going, is there are multiple reasons to go. I mean, it's a lot of cost. I mean, when it is in person, it's a lot of cost for the companies to afford people going in there. But it's one of the biggest reasons, I think, is networking. I mean, you meet a lot of people, you talk to a lot of people, you understand the technologies in there, and that starts giving you going in there. I did not go in person any of them, but definitely all the virtual meetings, even the kickoffs, and by keep people notes. It's really useful to learn about technologies.
Like for the knowledge drop, 75 points for having the most one-on-one consulting engagements last time around, and bringing in 3 customers to Fast Track. Plus, you continue to surprise with the networking, another 100 points. You're at 175, Niraj. That's absolutely amazing.
Thanks, Brad.
Josh, what do you got, buddy?
I thought you were
for me, I love Ignite, and it's really because of the spectacle of it, right? So my first Ignite, again, here in Orlando, I remember, checking in and everything, getting my badge, and then Fast Track, we work the expo floor with a lot of the other product groups and vendors and things like that. And I remember walking in, and I was just like, holy, yeah, I know it's a family show, I know, but I'll stop there.
No, that's it.
Yeah, you're just walking around and you just see forever, everybody that's there, the great conversations as you're walking onto the expo floor, and walking by Bob melting, someone's brain with his depth of knowledge of SQL Server, and seeing Buck over there as well, or Anna talking to customers, and it was great. It just a huge spectacle of an experience. I just love it.
You know what? So for Bob blowing people's mind as well, a great call out to Bob, to Buck, to some of the great people that we have there. You've got 2 75-point drops. Andreas, I feel like you're a little low, so I'm going to give you another 100 points. That gets you up to 155. Josh is at 150. Niraj, you're at 175. Yeah. You are the winner, man. Look, my hat's off to you. You're doing fantastic. If I had a hat, I would take it off. But yeah. All right. So because we're so close to time, I want to do a quick reminder. Thursday is the roundtable. No special guest for the roundtable, so it's just going to be us covering the community content. I want to thank Anna Hoffman, and I want to thank Niko for being here with us. It was so great to see you, my friend. Look forward to speaking with you again very soon. Super cool. Don't forget to sign up for Microsoft Ignite. It is this week. It is a big deal. You're going to want to pay attention to the announcements. The keynote is tomorrow. Sign up for your consulting one-on-ones. We do have a special guest who will be joining us on Tuesday. Our good friend Jess Schultz. She's going to be here and joining us. And quick reminder, Live 360, right? Josh and I are going to be there with Buck. We will be presenting. Go to aka.ms Live 360 to be able to see about our ground to cloud roadshow, where we will be covering all different flavors of SQL and how you get from on-premise to the cloud. And of course, we're covering SQL 2022. Niraj is our winner. He's going to be the host next week. That's
what about Josh? Where is it?
The beautiful Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort on the grounds of Universal Studios Orlando.
I love it. I love it. Josh, are you moving too? I see a lot of boxes behind you.
No, actually, I'm working on some content for the Tales from the Field channel. So all these boxes will be brought together, and everybody who watches the videos will be able to see. I'm actually building a new team, a new PC. So I'm going to build a new tower and bring the audience around with me, or along with me.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you here on Thursday.